morning, my faithful, loyal YouTube subscribers. Today it is Thursday. It is the 15th of October. We're halfway through October. Beautiful October. The weather has been beautiful. The year is 2020, and we're still in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. I saw something yesterday where the governor of New York said that we have another year, possibly another year or longer, to deal with this, which I believe to be accurate. I knew from the very beginning of the coronavirus pandemic that it was not going to end mysterious, that it would just go away. One day it's just all going to go, it's going to disappear by spring, according to the mayor, the president of the United States, our favorite president, Donald Trump. It ain't going no place no time soon. And we will be here until they come up with a vaccine, which good luck with that one. You know, maybe they'll come up with a vaccine, maybe they won't. We shall see. But I wanted to dive back into the subject I did about Instagram fitness guys who have all these fitness pages who are actually escorts. Because I got a lot of questions from a lot of people. My phone rang off the hook and people calling asking questions, and I'm not going to point out specific people that I've discovered are doing this escorting, but they're using Instagram. Some of these people have very large followings, and they have a lot of. For one guy, just checked, he has 826,000 followers on his Instagram page. And he is, I know for a fact from people I've spoken to, he is an escort, that he travels around the United States and around the world prostituting himself to men and women. And that's how he derives his income. He don't work no place. His fitness, he does some modeling on the side here and there, nothing major. There's an underworld taking place right in front of our eyes. We all see these people daily on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, and we just assume they're regular people like you and I. I'm not escorting. I've never considered escorting. I would love to travel the world at somebody else's expense. I would love to go places and do things and charge, let somebody else pay for it. Rather than reality, you ain't getting nothing for free. One of my friends who I've known for many years, I met him at the Atlantic Station, LA Fitness, over 10 years ago. And he used to do porn, and then he started escorting. So one day, we were sitting talking at my home. He had stopped by to buy some stuff, some supplements. And we were sitting in my dining room table, and I just said, and he was just telling me about the stuff that he does. And I was asking questions, I admit. And he even showed me text messages from people who were his clients, which blew me away. I was in total shock. And I just asked him, I said, how did you end up doing this? How did this end up happening? He grew up north in the northern city. I think he was either Philadelphia or Baltimore. I want to say Philadelphia. For some odd reason, Philadelphia sticks in my head. And growing up, his mother was a prostitute. She worked the street corners by his home. And he said he grew up poor. No food in the refrigerator. His mother was a drug addict. She was a prostitute in the projects. His mother was a prostitute. He would, and the only time they really got something to eat is when these guys would come by and bring them McDonald's or Burger King or some type of fast food or food from a local restaurant. And then they would go off in the back bedroom or whatever it was where he lived at, upstairs. I think it was a row house or something, I don't know. And they would go upstairs and they would have sex with his mother. And he'd be sitting down and eating the food, listening to this. And he just grew used to this environment of drugs, prostitution. He said his mother did it, her sisters did it, his grandmother did it. And this is the environment he grew up in. Now, his mother wasn't too much older than him. I think his mother was maybe 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Somewhere they grew. His mother was very close to his age. It could have been more than 12, 13, 14 years. But she had him at a very young age. And she had other children too. And they were mistreated, abused. They grew up in a home that no one cared about them. They didn't come home to when the electricity would be off, no heat, no clothes for school. And see, when you see him today, you see an attractive man, nice body, but we don't know what has happened in his head, in his background. See, that's the thing about Instagram that concerns me. When I see people on Instagram, and I look at these pictures and say, well, he's a nice in person, but I've learned when you dig a little bit deeper, black folks, we come from some horrible situations, and some of us have not overcome it. In this man's mind, my friend, getting an STD is nothing. Having sexual relationships, getting paid for sex is nothing. It's just everyday ordeal. In fact, my friend lived, at one point he had to bring his own daughter from up north here to Atlanta, and she lived in the same apartment with him, with her baby. She had a newborn baby while he was in the next room with clients for his escorting. Now I say, well, why are you exposing your daughter to this the same way your mother exposed you? Do you think this is, when does the cycle of despair end? When? He saw nothing wrong with it. Well, she got to learn how to survive too. And I said, well, this is more than just survival at this point. I mean, you've made enough money in this industry, and I'm telling you to go do something else. But because his mind was so wrapped up with drugs, sex, escorting, that he learned from his own mama at an early age. How can he break free from this? Because he didn't see anything wrong with this. And he still, to this day, doesn't see anything wrong with this. And he travels the United States doing this. He enters into relationships with people and doesn't tell them what he actually does for a living. And we're friends, associates. You know, we're friendly associates. I think he's a very nice person. He just came from some bad situations and he never sought therapy. I said, well, have you ever thought out getting a therapist and trying to, scratch through these issues, the abuse, the drug use, the sexual abuse you received as a child? I didn't want that to happen to my grandbaby, my daughter. That's why they're here with me now. I said, well, you're abusing them right now with the actions that you're doing in the next room over. That's abuse. She should not be involved. She should not even know what you're doing. And you should not be teaching her that this is okay. But y'all, a lot of black folks grew up in households like this. A lot of them. When I talk to my friends and associates and they tell me where they came from out of New York, New Jersey, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Miami, Los Angeles, Louisiana, and I listen to this shit, New Orleans, none of them are telling me good, happy family memories. It's about abuse, sexual abuse, poverty, despair, coming from nothing, trying to survive. Parents nowhere to be found. So that's why when I look around the black community, now look at these kids standing on these street corners selling these bottles of water. And you wonder, well, where's their parents at? Why are they out doing this to survive? And I think about the stories my friends told me. And I've heard this from a lot of people. This is not an anomaly. Many of the associates I know don't even know who their parents are. They grew up in foster care and they bounced from one household to the next of family members who took care of them until they got grown and were put out on the streets to figure it out on their own. And if you listen to these guys on Instagram and pay attention to their stories, they're saying the same thing. But they look great. They work out, they exercise, they're in the gym. Well, many times the gym is their therapy. Fitness training is their therapy. But they still haven't got past the issues that took place in their lives. And now They're continuing the cycle, selling their bodies and selling their selling themselves to other people for sexual contact, traveling the world doing this under the guise of being a fitness trainer or Instagram model. Now, I couldn't tell you much about the women on Instagram. I deal with mainly men because I'm in the fitness world, and I deal and I talk. And this is all, as I've learned this over the years, I was a little surprised by it because some of these guys, I thought, no, that can't be true. And then the more I thought about it, I said, yeah, it's true. And it seems as if they are all doing it. All of them. But like I said, listen to their backgrounds, where they came from. Listen to how they grew up. Very few of them talk about these great mothers and fathers they had in their lives that gave them great childhoods. All they talk about is the physical abuse and the pain. They tell you on their Instagram. Read the stories they post. They'll tell you, little by little, you put pieces of the puzzle together. Those you ain't too busy staring at the pictures. And Googling at the picture, ooh, he's sexy. Read what he wrote. Now, I know some people who have gotten into relationships with these Instagram models. Worst mistake ever. Because they looked at a picture. They didn't look at this picture. What's going on up here in his brain. They didn't do that. They looked at the physical. And in his relationship, my friend has been in many relationships. Nice looking brother. He's lied to all about what he do. I said, well, you shouldn't be into relationships and not telling people that you're an escort or prostitute. You should tell them. They have a right to know. Instead of lying about you do this and you do that. And that old massage therapist, okay, as soon as you hear massage therapist, you know, back up and say, okay, what do you do for a living? I'm not saying all massage therapists are up to no good. They do offer massages. Yeah, I can use a massage right now. My neck is killing me. I don't know what I did the past few days. But Lord, y'all, I changed my neck. I woke up. Oh! My legs were hurt. My feet were hurt. My arms. I said, I'm getting old. I had to live into the kitchen. Get them pills open. I feel much better now. But something was wrong. My neck had a crook. That shit was painful as hell. And I think it's how I've been sleeping. You know, you buy these expensive pillows and over time they flatten out to nothing. You gotta go buy some more expensive pillows. I need to get some more of these expensive pillows. These motherfuckers done flattened down to nothing. My big ass done crushed them. Crushed the damn pillows. They dead in there. I got a lot of shit I need to buy. I'm trying not to buy a lot of stuff because I'm gonna be moving soon. I have to haul all this shit out of here. But I'm gonna have to at least go get me some decent pillows. I've been meaning to stop by there. And then because of the pandemic, the stores don't really have a lot of stuff in stock that I like. So you gotta go here online. And wait for it to come and search for the package all up and down the hallway. Did he go to the wrong apartment? I don't have time for all that shit for a damn pillow. Sometimes, you know, when I look back at my youth growing up with my mother and father in a safe, stable environment versus how these people grow up with today, how they live their lives. And this is what frightens me. There are so many black boys growing up in these environments. And you all sit around and wonder, where are the good men at? Well, they were destroyed as little babies. They were destroyed as little boys. They were destroyed as teenagers. And you expect them to get through all this shit and become good, strong, stable men. Nobody discusses this. Nobody's discussing the sexual abuse, the drug abuse, the abandonment, the poverty that these boys grow up in and accept as normal. Nobody's saying a word. None of our mayors, none of our politicians, none of our celebrities, nobody is saying shit. And then we expect these people to grow up and be a normal person. And you wonder why these people will shoot and kill you in a heartbeat. Because nobody's ever cared about them. So, since nobody cared about their life, they ain't gonna give a damn about your life nor anybody else's. They will kill you in a heartbeat. I've seen this. And we expect things to change. How? But first we have to acknowledge and accept what the fuck is going on. But we won't do that. We keep sweeping shit under the rug, sweeping shit under the rug, sweeping shit under the rug. Let's not even talk about all the kids with all the black men walk around who were born HIV positive. We don't discuss that either. They were born into this mess. Mistreated. It's tough being a black youth today. The schools don't care about you. Your parents don't care about you. The society doesn't care about you. Them young men should not be selling on street corners selling bottled water about to get ran over by a car to make $1 off a bottle of water if they're getting that much for it. If they're making any money at all. I'm trying to figure out how to get a whole case of water costs $2.50 at Kroger's. Y'all selling each bottle $1 each. Who's buying this stuff? Who? And I've seen on the news where these kids are getting hit by cars, shot, all kinds of shit. Where are the parents? Nowhere to be found. And they ain't been found, y'all, in decades. This is another generation growing up without parents. And we cannot blame this on the crime bill of 1993. I said, what? Well, what happened in the 80s when I was growing up in the 90s? I mean, what no crime bills back then when these parents were disappearing on these children? I gotta be honest, in my generation, most of my friends had 2 parents in the household. But as I got older, that did not become the norm. There's a difference between a mother and father divorcing, but both parents still playing a part in their children's lives versus daddy ain't there at all. Their mama disappears, and the grandparents have to raise these children. Now the grandparents ain't no good. And what do we expect to happen with these boys that turn into teenagers who turn into men? What do you expect? We expect them to be normal, good, decent human beings when no one has even ever treated them as if they were a normal, decent human being ever in their lives. We cannot ignore the abuse that these boys grow up in, and girls. But we want these boys to be men and leaders. And you can be asking why. And y'all, I talk to a lot of fitness trainers on Instagram. I'm in this industry. I'm a lot older than these guys. And the stuff they tell me, I said, oh, now listen. They tell me stuff about their background. My mama wasn't shit. I first heard these stories when I was in prison 20 years ago. My mom ain't shit. Not 30 years ago. And I didn't understand that. My mother was coming to visit me every weekend. That's your mama? I said, yeah, that's my mother. They look over there. Oh, you have a good relationship with your mother? I said, yeah, she's here every weekend. I wouldn't be in jail if I had to listen to her. I don't regret going to prison because it opened my eyes to a whole lot of shit that I didn't even know existed. But I sat in that prison and listened to those guys who were never going to get out, many of them. And they talked about their mamas like she wouldn't shit. And I'd be like, oh my goodness. These black mothers, some women shouldn't have children. Especially if they're going to bring them in the world just to abuse them and mistreat them while they're out prostituting on the street corners. See, we drive by this shit all day long. I can get my Mercedes right now, and if you want to come with me, I can drive around Atlanta and show you areas where these women are walking the street prostituting. All up and down Candler Road, Jonesboro Road, Wesley Chapel, in middle-class black neighborhoods. We're on the fringes of the middle-class black neighborhoods. But they're everywhere. Near these hotels, these horrible hotels. And everybody just drives by. We don't see it. We ignore it. The police don't see it. Nobody sees it. But these women have children who live in these hotels with them while they're out walking these streets and prostituting or going back to these raggedy apartments. See, nothing's changed. It's gotten worse. Because back then, you didn't have, people were living in hotels. But now they're living in all these horrible hotels all over Atlanta. Horrible places. They're living there. Raising children in these environments. When I hear people say, I'm against abortion, I think, I don't know why you are. I don't have a problem with abortion because some women don't need to bring these children into the world because all they're trying to do is neglect a human being. And then we keep wondering, what is wrong with these black boys, these black teenagers, these black men? Look at where their life started from inception. Many of these women have no clue who their father of the baby was because they didn't fuck 10, 15 different niggas. Many without a condom. Selling themselves. My friend who works as an escort, he said he's never used a condom in his entire life. He's had every disease you can imagine. He never used a condom. I mean, what? Every disease. All of them. And over the years, I've lost some friends who died who were escorts. And I found out after the fact. Oh, you know, someone was an escort. Well, that handsome man couldn't have been. Yeah, he was. I was like, oh. I think, okay, well, he didn't really work nowhere. But the thing about escorting, when you're traveling, they stay on the road. Traveling. When you meet somebody who's constantly on the road traveling, and they ain't working for Delta, something's wrong. And if they say anything about fitness and massage therapists, and I'm not putting these guys on blast. Some people, you know, it is what it is. And it's destructive to a lot of people. And it destroys their lives. But this destruction started long before they were even conceived. But we've ignored it until we have a massive problem in the black community. Where are all the decent black boys, the decent black men? Some do exist. I'm one of them. But it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. And these women saying they want decent husbands. I don't know where they're gonna find them. There are a few out there, a few. But when you have a large segment of the black community growing up in poverty and despair, not everybody's gonna climb above and make it out of that abyss. And then they do make it out. The damage here is so severe, it's irreparable. But we want decent men in our communities. But we're not bringing them into the world into decent situations. And then we sit back and wonder what's going on. We can't ignore this forever, y'all. We just can't. But anyway, those are just my thoughts and opinions that I've experienced over the years dealing with black men in the black community, gay and straight. There are a lot of men who identify as straight, but who have sex with men and women for money. They call it gay for pay. I've seen this 1,000 times. They'll tell you in a heartbeat, oh, Walter, I'm straight. Okay, I say, okay. But you throw $100 on the table. If they get that much. I don't know what these guys are making in that lifestyle. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I've heard some outrageous rates. Then I've heard some cheap rates. I don't know what they're making. Couldn't tell you. And I know that all ain't enough money in the world for me to do that mess. But hey, that's just my thoughts. And I'm not putting nobody on blast. I'm not trying to expose anybody. Because people say, you're trying to expose people. You always put people on blast. No, some of the stuff needs to be discussed. We can't just sweep stuff away because we don't like the topic or the conversation. Everything can't be about a positive conversation or what we deem positive. Some stuff we need to discuss, especially if it's having a huge impact on our communities. And this is having a dramatic impact. The amount of men and women exposing themselves on Onlyfans and escorting and prostituting some of the nicest looking people in our communities, and they see it as normal. They don't see anything wrong with it. This is a problem. But hey, like I said, I'm just a fool here on the internet, on YouTube. I'm not so crazy as you all think I am. If you like my videos, please click like, share them with family members and friends. Today is Thursday, October 15th, the year is 2020. I just wanted to kind of explain. I hope this video was coherent and clear. You all can understand this, because we cannot ignore this problem, because it is having a huge impact on our communities, whether we want to accept it or not. And we won't be praying this away. We've already tried that. Anyway, enjoy your Thursday. I'm out of here, like I said. Thursday, October 15th, the year is 2020. I'm out. Enjoy the rest of your day.